There was a online rally for Vice President Harris. It was white dudes for Harris. I wasn't there. There was about 200,000, apparently, according to organizers. It's very interesting. The Democratic Party doubling down on their identity politics. I mean, they've got all these different groups for Harris, all based upon their identity politics. That's fine. That's who they are. They're embracing who they are and what they stand for. But I want to play a clip of the Transportation Secretary, Pete Buttigieg. Now, he was the former mayor up in Indiana. He's married to another man. And he has, I think they adopted a kid or somehow they got a baby. So I'm going to play this clip. He joined the call last night, and this is in part what he had to say, clip 9.
I'm so glad she has made freedom the theme of her campaign, because I think in so many ways that's what's at stake. And yes, women's freedom is Exhibit A after Donald Trump demolished the right to choose. But of course, men are also more free in a country where we have a president who stands up for things like access to abortion care. Men are more free when the leader of the free world and the leader of this country supports access to birth control and to IVF. And certainly men like me and my husband are more free when we have a president who supports our freedom to get married to who we love.
All right, did you catch that? All right, men are more free because we have a president and we have a presidential candidate who is all about abortion. When women, and of course they use the term freedom, freedom to kill your child, freedom for an abortion, that's what they're talking about. That because of women having access to abortion and birth control, men are free. Free of what? Responsibility? Free to actually have to answer for their actions? I mean, think about that. I mean, this is the Secretary of Transportation. What he's talking about is creating a society, which we're already seeing, that's a train wreck. And you should know a little bit about that. But the fact that we would have someone at the highest level saying men are free because women can get abortions, that's, well, it's troubling when you see where we're at. But what I want you to see in this, and I want you to watch this over the next 98 days of this presidential campaign, is that the left is not running away from who they are. They support, they are focused upon abortion until the moment of birth at taxpayer expense. Now, there's a few other things, but this is going to be the number one issue. Every time Kamala Harris opens her mouth, it is about talking about reproductive freedom, freedoms under attack, as what Joe Biden was talking about last night about the court. They were fine when the court imposed abortion on the nation. They were fine when the court imposed same-sex marriage on the nation, even though half the states had passed marriage amendments. They were fine with that. But they were not fine when the court retraced its steps and repented of causing nearly 62 million babies to be killed in this country since Roe v. Wade back in 1973. But here's the reality. That's who they are. They're doubling down on it, and they're running on it. And they're proud of it. Now, I'll have to say I'm concerned that the Republican Party, that has been historically known as pro-life, at least for the last 4 decades, is not proud, apparently, of their position of life. They've removed it from the party platform, and they've gone silent. I mean, how do you counter a lie? How do you counter the lies of the left? You certainly don't do it by silence. When you align with biblical truth, the fact that every human being is created in the image of God, therefore worthy to be protected under our laws and welcomed into the world. You're moving closer into alignment with biblical truth and therefore the blessing of God. I mean, one of the reasons I think our nation is suffering from the lawlessness, the violence, is because we've moved further and further from that truth. And we've got one party that is hell-bent on advancing a demonic, destructive agenda. We need to have a counterbalance. And there's no wink and a nod. Either you're for it or you're against it. Either you're going to support life or you're not. And I think we're at a critical juncture. And I think we need to support candidates, support parties that will support the sanctity of human life. The left is not ashamed. They are not ashamed of what they support. We need to call upon those candidates we support to be just as proud to stand for the sanctity of human life.